Weekly, GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly. Ooh. Need an answer to your question, John, you'll have a suggestion. He's a fountain of all knowledge. I think he might have gone to GarageBand College. What he doesn't know, we'll try and find out. So join the chat and give him a shout. Hey, John. Hey, John. GarageBand Weekly.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome into GarageBand Weekly for another week here on Studio Live today. My name is Pete Johns. This is my favourite time of the week, or one of my favourite times of the week, because this is our kind of casual, let your hair down kind of show where we talk about GarageBand, we talk about Logic Pro, we talk about Apple stuff, we talk about tech, we talk about life. Sometimes we talk about sport. You name it, we talk about it. And today, we've got a fairly generic, general kind of show. That doesn't mean it's bad. That means it's good. That means we're going to be answering questions, your questions as we go through the show. If you have a question, put it in the chat. Put a big Q in front of it. That will tell me it's a question. We've also got some news and notes to talk about. I'm going to chat about YouTube ads. I'm going to chat about Black Friday and gear that I might be looking to buy and maybe you're considering buying as well. We got a lot of stuff to get through, so we're going to get started in a moment. Why don't we start with a question? Sure, why not? Good day. How can I get some punch from my 808s? Interesting. GarageBand has a lot of 808s, doesn't it? But how do you get some punch? How do you make a really cut through the mix? 2 tips, straight off the bat. Number one is people turn up their 808s too loud. And this is a tip for kick drums, for snare drums, for all of your drums. If you turn them up too loud, especially in GarageBand, they actually make all the rest of your tracks duck. And then they actually sound all distorted and gross. So the biggest mistake, the biggest tip, which sounds counterintuitive, is don't turn up your volume too loud. So make sure that all the volume of all your tracks is set at a lower level so that you're not actually peaking. I was mixing a track for someone this week, and yeah, as soon as you have more than about 8 tracks at unity gain, at that middle volume level, you're going to be peaking. And it's going to not sound good. The other thing to do with your 808s is, of course, the standard stuff of EQ and compression, and sometimes a little distortion or an exciter or something that's going to give it a little bit of crunch can actually work well as well, because a lot of digital sounds, even 808s, have that kind of boom, boom sort of sound. And if you want it to like kind of have a bit of crunch, use a distortion. Like just try different types of distortion or overdrive or distortion pedals, or put it through a guitar amp sim, or just try different things to rub it in the dirt a little bit and get a little bit more punch for your 808. So there you go. That's a good way to start the show, isn't it? Let's start talking. Let's say g'day to everyone who's here with us today. Thomas Christ is helping me out by making sure you put a Q in front of your question. G'day to Mark Bro. We've got Al Davis Music. Hello to Dave Bops. Dave Bops. Dave Bops. G'day Paul O. Farrell. Thank you for being here. Hello to Campagnol. So this is the problem. Everyone's got their little at tags now, so names are different, aren't they? It's a Mars Capone sighting in the wild. Hope you're doing well, Mars. Talking about you yesterday. I think it was good things I was saying. I can't recall, but I definitely remember you got a mensch yesterday on the show for some reason. Hello to Sol Orak as well. We've got Alexander Dean Francis with us also. And yeah, if you would like to, check out the gear guide. It is that time of the year, isn't it, to check out the gear guide. Hello, Jade Star as well. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Hugh Caldwell is here also. Hello to you. And Sylvie Drapeau, yeah. Being used to tube amps when recording, are there any plugins that can compete with that sound, like Fender or Marshall? Look, Jade Star's the one to ask about guitar amps and apps particularly. In terms of Logic and GarageBand, the default amps are pretty good. Jade put me onto, in fact, let's dive in. We'll get to the news and notes. It's going to be one of those shows where we jump around a little bit. So I'm going to actually jump in here to my Logic Pro and fire up my Songtember song for this year. Oh, where is it? That's the question. Where do I actually have it? I'm going to have to I'll bring you over here. Let's come on over. Come on over. Jump on in. That's the wrong button. Come on in here, and we'll find stuff together. You know that thing where you create music for your Songtember, and then you just completely forget about it. Here it is, Songtember 2025. There's my Logic Pro project. Oh, am I here in GarageBand? Is that the problem? I'm in GarageBand. So let's come out of there, and we'll go into Logic Pro. There we go. Oh, by the way, we are going to jump around a lot here today, so we'll come back to your question there in a second, Palace. But has anyone had this problem with Logic Pro? I came in here today and it reckons I need the percussion pack updated and the GarageBand sounds pack updated, compatibility pack. And I reckon this might be to do with, I'll hit the get all button here now. I just wanted to show you this. I reckon that might be to do with the fact that the GarageBand has been updated and I haven't jumped into Logic Pro since I updated to the new GarageBand here in iPadOS 26.1. So I'm wondering, if you haven't used your Logic Pro for a while, can you do me a solid and check? Because I wanted to see, is it just me? Am I going to get questions about this from other folks? Because I've noticed that it's a thing there. Alrighty. So did that work? I opened my project. Let me just check that this is the right project. No, that's a different project. All right, that's your opinion. And my opinion is that we need to go to the right one. So let's go back to my iCloud drive, into my Studio Live Today folder, which should be down here under S's, and Songtember 2025. We'll jump in here to my master, my version 16 of my Songtember 2025 project, the final project it is. And I say all this to say that the guitar amp that I think has some of the better tones that our friend Jade not only recommended but bought for me is the guitar amp sim that I'm going to show you in a moment, and it does some good stuff. But I'll just wait for this to actually be available. Don't you love iCloud? It stores everything, and then you just have to wait and wait and wait, and you spend half your life downloading and uploading files. The amount of bandwidth that we use to do this stuff, quite amazing, isn't it? All right, I'll see. Yeah, okay. Not now. Not now, GarageBand. So if we come here to the guitars that I had. So I had these using originally the guitar amp sims in GarageBand, and then the guitar amp sim here in Logic Pro. And then Jade said, nah, not okay. Not having it. I'm going to buy you this, which is the Rhino guitar sim, and this thing is rad. So this has, like, even just playing around with the presets, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can play with. But yeah, I haven't even delved into it because, to be honest, I used it. Jade did the presets for me. I threw them on here, and then I played with it. And it's probably, no, not probably, it is one of the best guitar amp sims. There's things like, what was the old school one that we all used back in the day? Not Tonebridge, that's the other one I'll talk about. What was the IK Multimedia one that I used when I first started doing this? I'm blanking on names now. But yeah, there's been a heap of them. If you want a cheap way to get into it, to start playing around with different tones, Tonebridge is awesome. I won't demo it here right now, maybe later if we have some time. But if you search my name, if you search Pete Johns and Tonebridge, Pete Johns Tonebridge, you will get a few videos here that actually show you everything you can do. And the cool thing about this is if you're looking for that specific tone, you can just dial in the tone from a particular song. And as you can see there on the guitar pedal, it actually has the very cool artwork. It's possibly copyright infringing, but it shows you the actual artwork of the album and the song that you're adding. So it's really cool if you want a specific tone. So if you know, and again, you can't dial in, say, Marshall or Fender. By the way, if you ever wondered why are all these amp sims not named? They can't. It's a copyright. It's a branding thing. They're not allowed to say Orange amp or Marshall amp or Fender amp. They have to just say Black amp. It's like that's a Fender Blackface, or you know, the classic GarageBand amp that looks like a Marshall. Like it looks like a Marshall. It sounds like a Marshall, but we're not allowed to call it a Marshall. So yeah, that's the problem. They can't actually name them. But if others, I know Jade's used all of the different guitar amp sims and has probably got suggestions for you. There, Rhino or Tonex are the best two, in my opinion. And yes, Nembrini. If you want something more specific, Nembrini make a lot of sort of boutique, sort of bespoke amp sims. So they'll make amp sims that are just a particular amp. And I don't know if they specifically have a Marshall one. It's hard to search for them because it doesn't say Marshall amp. But I'm pretty sure Nembrini have done a Marshall adjacent sounding one. So there you go. I should have just said, just listen to Jade Star. Go check out Jade Star. Hello to Matthew. Hello to Ed, Zed. Hello to Joe, Glenn. I hope you are well as well. And who else have we seen here? Shame Apple. Well, let's talk about this. Shame Apple makers pay 30% for using a super chat. It's actually YouTube that make you pay the 30%. So Apple, even if you make a chat, a payment, a super chat or a super sticker, Apple don't actually, it's one of the few things that Apple don't take a cut on. Because whether you're using Apple or Android or PC or Windows, you'll pay, say you put a super chat in for $4.99, $5. They will take out 30% of that. So $1.50 of your $5 goes to YouTube. And that's how they fund the overheads, the servers, and the ability for me to live stream out to you. And we'll talk more about YouTube and ads later on. But yeah, it is it is a shame because me as a creator, again, without getting out your tiny violins, because I get to do this for a job, so let's just call it what it is. Pretty awesome. But yeah, so here in Australia, if I get a $10 donation, YouTube will take $3, so I get $7, which is my gross income. And then, of course, the Australian Tax Office would also like their cut, which ends up being about 30%. So I don't say that to say don't donate to the channel. I say that to say please continue donating to the channel because it really, really does help out. But yeah, you can also donate via PayPal, which has less fees, and there's links for that down in the description. We did have other questions here. We will get to the news and notes, but like I said, we've got time today. It's going to be a long show. It's going to be a chilled show. So just settle back, relax, and we'll get there. So I was working on a project for my upcoming album and was trying to see. Maybe we'll get the rest of that somewhere. Hello, Endertech. Hope you are well. Yeah, Amplitude is the one that I was trying to think of before. G'day, Mr. Fomiati. Hello to Pulisic. Hello there. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Tone. And that's the thing. I don't own Tonex. And yeah, Amplitude is still only into app audio, which is being deprecated in, what was it, iOS 12, I think, when we first got told that inter-app audio is on its last days. But the problem is Apple want to get rid of inter-app audio because it's an old technology. It doesn't work as well as integrating AUV3, but so many apps still use it that they're kind of over a barrel there a little bit. M5 iPad Pro still only has one USB-C port. It does. But you know what you do see? You get yourself a dongle. You do have to live you make sacrifices, don't you? And I don't know. Maybe it's bad. Maybe I'm just drinking the Apple Kool-Aid and they should add more. It's rare, but it happens that I think to myself, it would be great to have a second USB-C port. But for the most part, when I'm on the go, I'm rarely connecting more than one USB-C device at a time. And when I'm here in the studio, I'm hooked up to my 4 USB-C pass-through HDMI little Ugreen adapter. And speaking of which, we'll talk about this more later. But I did notice this is a great time to stock up on spares of your little things, your little cheap things, your adapters, your strings, your tuners, whatever you need. Because I've already seen that under my Amazon Black Friday month, which it is at the moment, we got things like this little Anchor 7-in-1 multi-port USB hub. So this is similar to the one that I use. So it's got HDMI. But this one actually has not only USB-C pass-through, it's got a second USB-C, and it's got an SD card reader, and it's Anchor brand, which you know is pretty good quality, and it's only $19.99. So the one I use is only $12, and that's the Ugreen. So let's see, is that one on sale? Ugreen USB-C. Let's see. Let's USB-C. Oh wow, it is. Holy crud! Okay, if you're in the US, go and buy this right now. This is the exact adapter that I use. I've been using this with iPads for, what, 4 years now? It is just perfect. You get HDMI, 4K HDMI, you get 100-watt power delivery. So you see the little USB-C power adapter there? You've got 100 watts of power, which means you can plug it into a high-powered, like one of those big chungas, either power supplies or even the one that used to come with your iPad. They don't even come with them anymore, do they? Or maybe they do for iPads. The big chungus ones, plug it into that, and then you get 3 additional USB ports. So this is the adapter you want. So if you're a Prime member, $9.49 is the cheapest I've ever seen that for. In fact, let's camel. You know camel. Yeah, I did a video on camel the other day. This is where you can actually search out if it is indeed the cheapest. And I think we can camel the link. Yeah, we can. So here it is. Yeah, look, it's not even registering that that's the price, because camel only registers price that everyone can get. So the cheapest it's ever been has been back in September, where we're down at $9.98. So retails for $15.99, being at $9.49. I may even import a few of these because I need them. Like whenever anyone asks me, I'm just like, just get one of these things. They work well. But yes, you do have to live the dongle life. PayPal is better. Yeah. So PayPal is a better way. We don't have Venmo here in Australia. That's also a good way. You know what? If you really want to send me money, I'll send you my bank account. That's the way I get paid. Like the big vendors, or if I'm doing sponsored content or anything, I actually have bank accounts in the US, Canada, the UK, and Australia. Not for dodgy international dealings, I promise, but for the ability to take donations and to get paid. So if you do want to pay me, I still have to pay tax on it because I'm a good boy. I pay my tax, but it does do good. Righty. What is that for again? Hello. What I was just talking about there is the USB-C. Spot on, Jade. If it only had Ethernet, it would be perfect. That is it. Like if you could get Ethernet, like I use my iPad, and the thing is, because I do a lot of airdropping anyway, and I've got my Wi-Fi is right here. It's very strong. It's very powerful. It's right here by my studio. But if I could just plug in Ethernet just to have that wired connection, then I could use everything on the same wired network for all my streaming. So yeah. Maybe we'll have a look. We'll see if there is one that does have Ethernet as well. Sylvie, is SD card will still be, or is it out? I was asking because I have one empty, thinking of putting photos in there. Is SD card still is in? So I'm not quite sure what the question is, Sylvie, but with an SD card, it does need to be formatted in either a FAT, an exFAT, or a FAT32 file system, or the Mac file system. It can't be NTFS, which is Windows's file system. If it's formatted using that, it won't work on your Mac or your iOS or your iPad or your iPhone. But if you've got a blank SD card, stick it in there and it should be fine. Or pop it into, if you've got a Mac or a PC, pop it in and format it, but make sure that you format it as FAT. I've got videos about that on the channel. What's a good video for it? Pete John's USB drive. I need to update all of these because they're quite old, but if you search Pete John's USB drive, I've got your complete guide to using them, plugging them in, powering them up, doing all the things, and a bunch of troubleshooting guides as well, because a lot of folks have a lot of questions about that. So yeah, you can go and check those videos out in below. Here it is. My album was trying to change the icon for the drums, but it was not changing the icon. Is there a bug? GarageBand? Let's have a look. And thank you, Thomas, for the linkage there. Yeah, I think it's also on the gear guide if you go to studiolivetoday.com/gear. Yeah, look, I didn't 100%, Sylvie. So if you want to ask again, do try again. If I missed the point of your question, more than happy to circle back to it. Icons in GarageBand, not that I've noticed, but you know what? There's one way to find out, and that's to actually dive into GarageBand. So let's bring up the iPad and dive on over. I like doing these sort of shows. I used to do these shows more often where it was kind of just all a bit random. Why am I playing? Let's let's play something in, just for fun. Sounds like a church organ piece there. Don't know what I was doing there. Icons. So yeah. So are we talking drums or drummer or what sort of thing? Let's assume you're talking drums, and you've got your drums here. So what sort of drums would I put with this one? Let's do electron. No, we'll do acoustic drums. Corey's. Ah. Let's do this sort of lo-fi drums. So interesting. All right, so icons, can we change them? So the way to change your icons here in GarageBand is to tap on the icon here and go to icons and then change your icons. So it seems to work well there. Well, let's say that you were talking drummer. Can we change the drummer icon? So there's our drummer. It's a bit intense, Magnus. Anyway, we're not here to critique Magnus. Icons there, change your drummer, boom. So it looks like it's fine to me. Let's see if we can make this follow our original drum. Not that one, follow that one. Let's make it in sync. So yeah, so it looks like it's working fine for me. But if you've got more details, do let me know, because I'm happy to look into it for you. There you go, Thomas. Thank you very much. Thanks for playing my. Yeah, we had an absolutely rad Your Music Live yesterday. If you don't know, as well as doing tutorials, as well as doing these sort of live streams where we help folks out, we also have a weekly show called Your Music Live, where we showcase. Yours with the Friends in Orange. Oh, folks loved that track. That was so just out there and bizarre and weird and wacky and strange in the best possible way. And it looks like Mark is helping out Sylvie in French, which is cool. I use a Sabrent one that has Ethernet. Yeah, well, we'll look. I'll flag that, and we'll look for one later, because maybe I need to update Jade. Maybe I need to spend more than $10. This is my livelihood. Maybe I need to spend more than $10 on it. Hey, it's Billie Eilish's Life, who also had a song on yesterday's Your Music Live. Alrighty, yes, exFAT formatting works for both Mac and PC. Exactly, spot on. There it is, the Sabrent 9-port USB hub with Ethernet. Let's look at it now. I'll just see if I can search it out. Sabrent 9-port USB-C hub Ethernet. I could go to the actual thing and find it, but I'm sure this will get us there, or it won't. Oh, there we go. So this the one here. So yeah, you're paying more of a premium, of course, but you're probably getting a more premium product. Oh, I do like that it has a removable cable too. So there you go. You got the same sort of thing there, and I'm assuming it's got USB-C power pass-through. Is this the one? I just searched for it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks similar sort of thing. Yeah, having the separate cable is good, because I do worry a little bit about the cable just hanging off the dongle there, and it looks pretty slick too. It matches the silver of the iPad. That's pretty cool. There you go. You get multiple answers to multiple things. Drums, yeah. So drums seemed fine for me there. Changing the icons seemed to work a treat. So if you've got extra info, do let me know. I have that Sabrent hub for my iPad. Never had any issues. Yeah, cool. Was it that one, Tom? The one that I was just showing there? This one here. So again, it's obviously a little more expensive, but probably worthwhile. Maybe I need to try it. Actually, we've got. Maybe I'll reach out to the dude at Sabrent, because we do have a contact at Sabrent that Jay put me onto. Thank you. I used a separate app to record my drums and wanted to change the icon on the drum I recorded, but it was not changing. I use a separate app. Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be different because you might be using if you're using a third-party app to record the drums. How does that work? Let's see. So if we come out to here, let's assume we're using something else, using external. So if we use an audio unit extension to record drum, do I have anything on here? Can I use playset? I haven't used this in the longest time. I don't actually remember how it works. All right, did that record in, apart from my weirdness? Not only recorded my playing in. Anyway, but yeah, so if you use something separate here, icons, it still looks like it should let you change it. So yeah, you should be able to use an external app. What about Interapp Audio? If you use an Interapp Audio app. Again, what do I have here? Let's just use iSymphonic. Excuse me. Oh, man, I haven't done Interapp Audio stuff for so long. I've forgotten how it works. You've got to go to GarageBand to hit your record button, don't you? And it doesn't seem to be working. This is why I don't use Interapp Audio stuff. No. But yeah, you should still be able to change the icon because it will just use that. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's happening there. It might be a very specific, particular thing that's causing it. So you might just have to be stuck with whatever icon they give you. Yeah. Solar Rack. I'm using Logic Pro and have MIDI in and MIDI out of my synthesizer. How can I record something inside Logic and then have that track control my synthesizer? Is that possible? I believe so. You know what? I'm good with a lot of things. MIDI ain't one of them. So especially MIDI out. So I use a lot of MIDI in, but I don't have any synthesizers. I don't have any outboard gear that I would actually want to use Logic to play, if that makes sense. I just use MIDI keyboards to input, and then I have Logic playback that. So it's a great question, and I've never played around with that. Jade Star may have. So Jade, if you have any input into this or anyone else who uses Logic, definitely possible in Logic Pro on Mac. I've definitely seen people with setups where they've got like their whole outboard rig being controlled using Logic Pro on Mac. But yeah, I'm assuming that there is some sort of MIDI out function. You know what? I'm going to cheat and I'm going to search Logic Pro iPad MIDI out. And I wonder if someone else has covered it. Okay, so everything I search for is coming up MIDI learn. Send multi out. There you go. Send MIDI out to hardware, record audio back into Logic Pro for iPad. How to send MIDI out to external. Look, Jamie Mallender has the solution. That looks like it's doing what you're saying there. And Jamie definitely knows a lot more about MIDI. Yeah, forget about Patrick and Pete. We're just telling you about the new MIDI learn feature. But it looks like Jamie might be showing you that. There you go. There's a Jade Star, extract MIDI data from Logic Pro for iPad. So that's getting the data out of it as opposed to actually sending it to a keyboard. How to add external MIDI synth in Logic Pro. There you go. So there's a few people in there. Ignore me and Patrick. I don't think we have the answer. MIDI learn again, MIDI learn, MIDI learn. Yeah, so a lot of it is MIDI learn. So MIDI to MIDI. Apple Logic Pro 2 for iPad, MIDI to MIDI finally. Oh yeah, that's MIDI learn again. So a lot of folks, Yak of Hack, a lot of us are talking about the MIDI learn. But yeah, there is MIDI out, says Jade. Should work fine. Just set the MIDI channels to correspond. Yeah, and this is the stuff that I don't know about because I've never played around. I don't know about MIDI channels. I don't know about multi in and multi out when it comes to MIDI. I use MIDI in the most basic way, which is that I use it to plug in a MIDI controller to control my instruments within Logic Pro and within GarageBand. So I use one channel of MIDI, I plug it in and I use it. When it comes to all the other knobs and dials and features, I MIDI learn. So with the new MIDI learn, I've been able to program a few things to do automation and do other things like that with the knobs, but that's about it. So no, sounds like it's possible, but I haven't specifically played with it. But it looks like there's a gap there. I would start with Jamie Mallender's video, But maybe, see, the problem is I would have to buy, because I have no MIDI synthesizers, I would have to buy something. Although what I could do is take it out and plug it into my piano, and I could get Logic Pro. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll trial this. I'm going to add it to my notes. This is how we get some ideas of what videos we should do in the future. I'm going to add this to my notes because I don't have a MIDI synth, but if I do a MIDI out from Logic Pro to a keyboard, because I do have my piano, like my Casio digital piano, which is out in the kitchen. But what I could do is set up Logic Pro, take my iPad out there, plug it in using USB MIDI, and then see if I can like import a MIDI file of like a classical piano piece and see if I can get Logic Pro to play my piano and see how we go. Hello, Alex. Alex Cruz. Have not seen you for a long, long time, Alex. I hope you are doing exceptionally well. Can't use Logic Pro on my iPad because I only have 32 gigabytes. Yes, that is definitely a problem. But again, iPad prices are coming down. And there is a rumor, when we finally get to the news and notes, there is a rumor about a new vanilla iPad perhaps coming out early next year, which we'll talk about by and by. Yep. So I'll try it with my piano and see how that goes. Speaking of MIDI, what's the best MIDI keyboard to get for a starting studio? I like M Audio. They've been my go-to for the longest time. I recommend this one. I know I'm off mic. I've used and recommended this for the longest time, the M Audio key station. Play it like a guitar. So this is the one that I use. M Audio key station 49 Mark III. It's affordable, 120 bucks, 49 keys, touch sensitive. It's got your pitch bend and modulation wheels. You can go up and down. You got volume control there. It has sustain pedal, connects up. It just does everything that you need and nothing that you don't. There's lots of great options out there. You really can't go wrong. If you buy, it's a bit like an audio interface. If you buy brand name, you'll be fine. Stay away from the Amazon ones that aren't branded or are brands that you've never heard of. So for instance, if I go to Amazon and I type in MIDI keyboard, which I will do, and we come over here, you'll see that we have a lot of options here. So Akai, yes, great. Donna, their budget, they're okay. Like they're sort of maybe. If you come across ones that you've never heard of, so Akai, they've done a pretty good job here. Mostly Akai ones that we've got here, and Donna. But this one, the KB25, I don't know that brand. There's the M Audio key station, $109 now, which is pretty good. Like this one, 50 bucks, 49 key USB MIDI controller. So if you compare like the M Audio key station 49 with this one, the generic half the price one with no brand on it, yeah, you get what you pay for. What brand does that say? Can't even read it. Garvey? Yeah, if it doesn't mention the brand in there, maybe stay away from it. But yeah, anything from Akai, anything from M Audio, Arturia make good keyboards. Arturia, a bit more expensive, a bit more upmarket, up brand one. But yeah, for all the folks that I've said, get an M Audio key station to start out with. They've always been happy with it. And yeah, the Akai as well. If you want something with a few more features, with like the drum pads and the knobs, the Akai is the way to go. And you can even, if you want to start out really cheap, you can go the M Audio key station 25, which is not available right now. Oh, the 32 is available. The 32, which is this little sucker here, 32 key version. So the M Audio one comes in 32 and 49, 88 all the way up to the full 88 key keyboard. Yeah, 61 in between as well. And you can get things like the Oxygen, which has got more of the knobs and dials and things on there. And yeah, the Akai. That's a Black Friday deal. There you go. There's a good deal on that one. Oh no, I wonder, didn't I tell Fat Panda Cat to buy that a week ago? I wonder if they bought it. And I wonder if it's on sale in their part of the world. But yeah, the Akai MPK Mini Mark III, the little 25 key one. And it's got red on it, so you know it goes faster, yeah? Absolutely. Yep, you can get over to the Gear Guide and you'll be able to find all of that. Hello, Kenneth. I hope you are doing well. Use the M Audio Oxygen 25. Would love one with more keys, yeah. Novation, yeah. So the Novation Launch Key 61 semi-weighted, can highly recommend. Absolutely. Wondering about M-Wave keyboards? I have an M-Wave device and I like it. M-Wave, I've not come across them. Doesn't mean that they're not good. M-Wave, oh, they look cute. This one looks awesome. Which one do you have, Ed, specifically? Yeah, this looks like that looks like a more affordable version of the Akai. So yeah, that's a good deal as well. There's a lot of good Black Friday deals, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. Would you go white or black? I'd go black. I'm a bit old school. Oh, it costs more, but then you can apply a 10% coupon. Wow, and that will bring the price down, I guess, even more. That's a good deal. Hang on, wireless. Built-in battery wireless connect. Wireless connect? Does this have Bluetooth? How does it wireless connect? Professional beat maker and keytar. Versatile MIDI control. Doesn't have Bluetooth, does it? That would be cool. No, I don't know what it means by wireless because it definitely has a cable there. It's definitely USB. Anyway, I have the SMK25. Is that what this is? This is different. Let's see, SMK25. SMK25. Oh, that's this one. I don't like it how they never put the actual model right there. Is it this one here? That looks pretty cool too. Nice. Wireless connect though. Is it actually wireless? I don't know. Let us know, Ed. Is it actually that? Still have a Novation Impulse 49. Pretty cool. Nice 8 or 9 fader mixing board set up on top of it. Yeah, and that's the thing. Depending what you need, depending what sort of music you're producing, I don't need all the faders and the knobs because, like I say, I'm a very, very simple man. And I need a very simple MIDI keyboard that literally just plays in the keys. As long as it's got a sustain pedal from when I'm playing in actual piano parts, because I find that more important than all the bells and whistles and knobs and dials that you might need. All righty, we will return to any questions that you have as we go through the show, but we do have a few news and notes to get to. Speaking of Black Friday, we talked about it last week. Yeah, the iRig Keys IO works great. I just suck. Yeah, the iRig keys are actually pretty good too. What was that one? There was that iRig that they came out with a while ago that was a keyboard with a built-in audio interface. I always wanted that thing, but Keys IO it was. But yeah, the iRig keys is a good option as well. There's the iRig brand, the iRig range of stuff. I love this. Purchased July 2019. I love when you come to Amazon and it's like, oh yeah, oh wow, I've owned my iRig Pro IO for nearly 7 years. Except I don't anymore. I gave that one away. I have the Pro Duo, but I had the Pro IO that I bought, and then IK Multimedia sent me the Pro Duo, and I gave away the other one, which I do sometimes. Don't come to me and ask me for free gear, but when folks are on the lookout for stuff, assuming the problem is if you live outside of Australia, it's probably going to cost me more to post it to you than for you to just go buy it. So if you're wondering why I don't give away a lot of my gear if you live in the US or Canada or the UK, yeah, that's the reason why. Yeah, the IO. I've never tried one of these, but it looks like it would be a really cool, like all-in-one solution because you can plug in a guitar and or a microphone into the back of it and use it as an audio interface and as a keyboard, which is kind of rad. But haven't actually done that. It reminded me to clear my Amazon history. Yeah, if see, this is the thing. If you buy other things on Amazon that you maybe don't want other people to see, you might want to not be a live streamer and show all the things that you have there. Replace the M Audio with the Arturia Keylab Essential 88. Seems great for the price so far, but I've only had it a day. Thomas, new keyboard day. I love it. So what is it? The Arturia Keylab. Oh, I'm not typing it in properly. Arturia. So what you're basically finding here is that it's a bit like headphones. Everyone's different. And no two people will love or want or have exactly the same thing. So, it's their overall pick for an 88 key keyboard. Looks pretty cool. Let's see. Here it is, the Arturia Keylab Essential 88. This looks like, see, this has got the bells and whistles, right? Are they weighted keys? They look like weighted keys. Yeah. Did you go the white or the black, Tom? What did you go with? I like it. Why is the price hidden? Why would you hide the price? That's so weird. Anyway. Yeah, full 88 keys. Looks nice. Looks like a very similar sort of keyboard to my Casio digital piano. Not weighted. They're not weighted? Oh, they look weighted. Don't they look? Don't they look like they've like that nice full design? How it's got like the frontage there. They look like they should be weighted. Anyway. It doesn't actually. It's actually much easier to play non-weighted. Hello, Low Jack. Low Jack. Low Jack. Cool. Yeah, so news and notes. What are we? 42 minutes in and we're starting on the news and notes. So last week I talked about this. But a lot of the M3 and the M4, a lot of the earlier Macs and iPads are starting to get Black Friday treatment. And weirdly, remember last week we said, it's the cheapest price ever for the mini M4. And then we went and checked it. And it wasn't, because it was only $499. Well, now it says it's actually $479. So I thought, I haven't actually checked this yet. I thought let's do this live and see if it is actually that on Amazon. Oh, it's not letting me type. Come on. So let's find the Mac. Oh, what am I doing? You ever have this problem? Why? I have so many different keyboards and windows and things open. There it is. Okay, it is actually $479. So if when they said it was the cheapest price ever last week, when it said $499, it was wrong. It's now $479, which is pretty ridiculous. I mean, I would not get the 256 model. If you wanted like a second computer, let's say that you've just got a workstation, or you've got a monitor, and you're on an absolute budget and you want just a workstation to use for GarageBand or Logic Pro, this would do you fine in terms of just recording music. But I would definitely upgrade the storage if you can. So let's see if we go to the 512. Is that also on sale? Yeah, but there's your problem, right? Look at that price increase. Like, you really do pay a premium when it comes to additional storage with Apple. So just going from that, what do you pay? You pay nearly $200 more. Is it? Yeah, it's $190 more. No, it's not. Yes, it is. $190 more to go from 256 gig to 512 storage. At that point, like for $200, you could buy, let's just see, a Samsung. Why do you keep not typing? My goodness. Samsung 2 terabyte SSD. I bet we can get, yeah, look at that. So you can pay the extra $190 to go from 256 to 512 gig of storage, or you can buy the 256 gig model and then buy a high quality 2 terabyte solid state drive and pay less. So the problem is, though, as myself, as Thomas Christ, as Jade Starr have all learnt with our Mac Minis, it's just not that easy. It's possible, but it's clunky. In order to run, so just the overhead of Mac OS and GarageBand and Logic and having all of that just on the internal drive is so much more seamless. It's so much more streamlined. And as soon as you shift stuff out to third-party SSD, it's never quite the same. And the way that Apple manages its file systems just makes it a bit hard to manage. But again, if you can get 8 times the storage for less money, and look, you could even just get yourself a 512 or a 1 terabyte, and you don't have to get Samsung. Like, what's a cheapie 1 terabyte SSD? Let's just see what Amazon give us. So yeah, look at this, a crucial $71. or a crucial 1 terabyte SSD, right? Or a Kingston, well, that's an internal. We need an external one. But yeah, like the Samsung Evo, even like 1 terabyte. Oh, they're all internal. Anyway, it's going to be about $100 for a terabyte, isn't it? There you go. Yesterday, I moved my Mac Mini setup out of the studio and into my lounge room. Best decision I've ever made. Yeah, and look, this would make a great lounge room computer. Like, forget your Apple TVs. You'd have the full power of a Mac. If you just hook that thing up to a TV with a wireless keyboard and mouse, which I know is what Jade does in her place, that thing would be a rocking thing. And you could even have like your GarageBand and Logic projects out there on your TV, or you could just be watching YouTube, or you could watch an Apple show. I don't know. Once you're using it just as a video consumer, $479 is probably pretty pricey to do that. All right. I got my MacBook Pro M2, but was looking at the Mac Mini for the desktop. Yeah, it's very cool. And yeah, some things really have to be on the internal drive. It's true. And the one thing that's really annoying is that iCloud Drive, if you're like me, you pay for extra iCloud Drive storage. You can, but you have to do a whole bunch of weird like registry hacks to get, and in my experience, maybe they've changed it in the new versions, but back in the day, in 2020, to try and get an external drive to be the drive that's synced up to my iCloud Drive files, and then get all of my apps to understand that that's where they were and that's where it should save them to and from, it was a pain in the butt. There you go. So you've got a separate studio. That's even cooler. Separate studio. Actually, I have that at the moment. Out on my piano, I've got my old I'm repurposing all my old stuff. So I've got my old Presonus speakers out there, because I've got the iRig iLouds here. So the Presonus speakers set up there. I've got my Focusrite color audio interface, and I can basically just lift and shift my iPad and pop it out there, and then I can be recording at my piano, because I'm recording with someone at the moment that plays piano and sings. And even though the kitchen's not the perfect spot, it's where the piano is, and I can't put the piano in this room, so I go out there. But yeah, it's cool to have a second, and just to get a change of scenery. And as Jade knows this, and you probably know it, if you've got your bedroom studio or whatever, and you can find another little nook to have if you've got enough gear to have another little mini studio somewhere else, then it can be a lot of fun. Billie Eilish is live. At the moment, I don't have any monitors for my home studio. I've always mixed using headphones, and I'd like to buy a pair. Which ones would you recommend? A pair of monitor speakers. Yeah, so depends on your budget. Jade uses the KRK Rocket 5s. I've got KRK Rocket 4s that I used to use. Rockets are great. They're kind of the industry standard. So if you've got the budget for them, KRK Rocket. I'll show you the price. Don't faint as we go here. They've got. Oh, I didn't know this. Has anyone checked these out? They've got the Go Orcs 3.5 inch. These look like they're designed to compete with like the Presonus and the other ones. $150. So yeah, these are definitely definitely a competitor for you. Okay, yeah, they're fairly similar to the to things like the Presonus speakers. Oh, and they've got to come with a little bag, a little stand. That's actually adorable. Maybe I need to reach out to KRK and try that. No, I've got enough monitor speakers at the moment. Well, that's delightful. So yeah, but the actual KRK Rockets, the real ones, you don't need 7s, but let's KRK Rocket, we want 5s. Oh, they're right at the top there. They just don't have a price. Click to see price. Why? So the pair, $358. So yeah, so that's middle of the range. So you can spend thousands of dollars on monitor speakers. You can spend $100 on monitor speakers. That's sort of aspirational, but if you don't have the budget for something like that, what I have used and recommended, I know friend Mark has got a pair of these, the Presonus Iris range, are actually really good. And look, as always, they've got a Black Friday deal for these suckers as well. $96.99. That may be their cheapest price ever, actually. Yeah, the 3.5 inch. Why do I love these? Why are they the overall pick? Look, 4.6 rating. They just punch above their weight is the thing. Yeah, it's only a 3.5-inch speaker. Yes, they're a near field speaker, which means you're not going to fill a room with sound with something like this. But they come with everything that you need. And the reason I like them is it doesn't show the back panel properly on these photos. And mine are out in the... Oh, there it is. Here. So the reason I like these is that they have features that you don't usually get. So you've got proper TRS inputs, so your left and right, your proper balanced inputs into the speaker. You've got acoustic tuning on there, so you can actually adjust your highs and your lows if you need to. It's got a button on the front and the volume on the front, which means you can turn them on and off with the flick of one switch, and you can control your volume. Most of your monitor speakers have the volume and all the controls on the back. And that's fine if you're setting up your studio and you're just leaving it, you set it and forget it, right? You want everything at the right balance level. I don't know about you, but I live in the real world where sometimes you just want to turn your speakers up or down. Like I use the same speakers to watch a YouTube video or watch a movie in here on my nice 4K monitor as I do to be in the studio. So the ability to be able to turn up and down your volume is highly desirable. So they are they're really cheap, they're really good, and you can get them pretty much everywhere. I think you're over in Europe, so I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get them on Amazon or on Thomann or somewhere like that, or even eBay is good too. What have we got? Yeah. So Kenneth has the KRK5, great sound. Yeah, well, it's a bit like the Focusrite Scarlett. It's the industry standard for a reason. The KRK Rockets, you see those yellow cones everywhere for a reason because they are just good. They're just good. They are. So yeah, go and check them out. Go to the Gear Guide and check them out. Yeah, and if anyone in Australia that wants to buy my old KRK Rockets 4s, let me know. Offer me a price. And again, I would love to be able to send them, but they are big and chunky and clunky, and that's why I haven't bothered trying to eBay them or sell them on, because you'd pretty much have to come here and pick them up because they're big, and the boxes they come in are even bigger. And I do need to move them on. I've got a quick tip for Mac users: use your SD card slot. I got a 512 gigabyte Samsung SD card in my Mac Pro that I got for $28. It's holding all my sample libraries. Easy, cheap storage upgrade for your Mac. That is a fantastic idea. Yeah. So I'm looking at my Mac Studio here, and I'm looking at the SD card slot in the front that I never use. So how much is can you get like a terabyte of SD card? I wonder. 1 terabyte SD card. You can get the micro SD cards. Yeah. Yeah, you can. Look at that. So you can get wow. So why are the micro ones cheaper than the actual one? It's got an adapter though as well. So Samsung Evo 1 terabyte, $79. Never even really thought about that. Oh look, that's cheap as. Especially if you were just holding sample libraries and stuff, you wouldn't necessarily, I mean, you wouldn't want to have something super dodgy. But yeah, what a great idea. That is an excellent tip. Because, yeah, I only really thought about sort of SSDs because you need the speed if you're running software and stuff. But if you're holding samples or you back up your archive of all your projects, yeah, absolutely. And that SD slot that you have on your Mac, does the new Mac Mini have an SD slot? My old one doesn't. But does the Mac Mini M4 have an SD slot? Because that would be an option, wouldn't it? Mac Mini. Can't spell. Mac Mini M4. I thought it. No, it doesn't, does it? No. It has the 2 USB ports on the front, but it doesn't have. Okay. But you could get a USB-C SD card reader and then stick it in. I mean, it'll look a bit clunky, but you could put a USB-C SD card reader. In fact, I bet you could get a USB-C micro SD card reader. USB-C micro SD card reader. Yeah, there you go. So you just get one of these little anchor ones, and then you just slot that in the back of your Mac, and you slide in a micro USB, and then you've got a terabyte extra storage. Maybe. That's a good tip, though. Hadn't ever considered that. Good idea. Yep. Got mine on the Black Friday deal last year. There you go. I know, I'm sorry. I was going to talk about this later, but can we just cut to the chase on the Black Friday stuff here now? Black Friday for me, and Amazon Prime Day, Black Friday, Christmas sales, whatever it is an opportunity to buy the stuff that you need over the next year anyway. So I don't go shopping with the intent of just looking for deals and like, oh, I don't really need that, but what a great deal. I'd be stupid not to get it. But what I do is go in and look at the stuff. So for instance, if you have been searching, and the good thing about Amazon tracking you and having all of your data is it knows what's your likes, right? So for me, going to the front here, the front page of Amazon, it's got what I've shopped for. It's got deals inspired by my recent history and shopping deals. So things like Duracell batteries and MIDI keyboards, that's going to be right up my alley. Save on electronics, save in your shopping trends. So use this. And then what I say to buy are stock up on things like your cables, your batteries, build in the USA with US and global parts. Okay, we don't want that then. Vroom, catches fire. That's so weird. That is so bizarre. Built in the USA with US and global parts. I guess that's why they're cheap. No tariffs, yeah. Deal selling fast. But yeah, what I like to do is come in here. If I go Elixir, guitar, strings, then we can come in here and see. Look, is there any specials on these? Not real. Oh, there you go. There's some Black Friday deals. Acoustic guitar. There you go. Elixir. They've got a new box. I didn't recognize that for a minute. So yeah, that's pretty good. I use Elixir strings on my acoustic all the time. What's this? A 4-pack? The light gauge, the gauge I like. See, I didn't recognize it. They used to look different to that, didn't they? Purchased another variation one time. So yeah, $55 for 4 Elixirs. That's a great deal. What's the other thing that you always need? XLR cables, right? XLR cables. Always got that problem where you've got a microphone and you don't have enough XLR cables to hook stuff up. Come and buy some. Buy the Amazon Basics if you want. They're dirt cheap. Black Friday deal on there. Or you might want to buy something a little bit more like the new trick ones. Yeah. With a little bit more like what do they call it? The cabling, better quality cables. Yeah, again, great deals, all that sort of stuff. What else do you need this time of year? Yeah, storage. So we already looked at SSDs and SD cards, USB-C adapters, same sort of thing. Come in here, you can do that. I never have enough USB-C cables. The USB-C cables, yep, look at that. Deal selling fast. Anchor Prime USB to USB, 250 watt fast charging cord, upcycled braided nylon with 100-year bend durability. So you might not need quite that level, but again, you can see here, all of these are deals right now. All of these are looking good. What is that? A 5-pack. A 5-pack of USB-C cables, 6 feet, for $11. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going to cost myself a lot of money here too, as well. But yeah, just stocking up on the stuff that you're going to need anyway is a good idea. Yeah. SD card, do keep that in mind. For running software, for stuff that you need access to really quickly, I wouldn't recommend SD cards. For sample libraries where you're just pulling samples in off and putting them onto your projects, or you're backing up or copying things off as just your storage, yes. But yeah, the speed of an SD card versus an actual SSD hooked up by a Thunderbolt or an internal drive is not going to be that. Yeah, and it's fast enough. For samples, fast enough. Yeah. Yeah, no, not really. So that's the thing. Getting an external card reader and then putting an SD card in there, you're putting multiple things to slow it down in the chain. So yeah, thinking of that. I have one of those bases under the Mini with extra USB and the SSD inserted. Yeah, so there's those. I think Jade's got one, and I know that Patrick did. Where's he? Where's GarageBand Guide? GarageBand Guide Mac stand. What was it? What do they call it? Like a no, I can't find it now. Mac ports. Like what would you call it? I can't find it. Anyway, he definitely did a video about it. I can't find it right now. because he had one of those sort of dock. Is it a dock? Mac dock? Ducks. I can't find his video. But yeah, there's heaps of options for port replicators and other things as well. What are the folders inside Logic Pro for? And how do you bring an audio into Logic? And in Logic, how can I separate each drum sounds in Logic of the drums? That's 3. What are the folders inside Logic Pro for? How can you bring audio into Logic? And in Logic, how can I separate each drum sounds in Logic? So here's the answer. The folders inside Logic Pro are to create a folder, as in you can put a bunch of sounds in there, and then there's a folder. There's 2 different things you can do. You can have like a nested track at the top and then all the tracks underneath, or you can have folders in there as well. Jade Star's shown the drum thing. You can actually separate the drum sounds. It is not easy. There should be a better way to do it. But yeah, Jade has a video about how to do it. What was the other question? Bring audio into Logic, drag and drop. So the good news is that with iPad OS 26, drag and drop is an easy thing to do. So you can literally come over to my thing. So there's a couple of ways, in fact, to do it. Number one way, so I know you can't see here, Solrak, but I'll just explain. So what I've got here is a drum sum, a summing stack. This is not the folder, but this is the way that that Jade does the drums. So she's got the original drum track, which has all of the different drum parts, and then she's separated those out into each individual kit piece under a drum sum, which means you can control the overall drums, and then you can tweak each individual drum as well. And the way to do that is a fairly complicated process that Jade has showed on her channel. I've never even actually done it, to be very honest, in Logic Pro. In terms of bringing audio in, there's 2 ways. You can set up sample folders. So in the browser, in the bottom left, we have sample folders, and you can actually choose folders and add sample folders directly into Logic Pro there. So that's where you could use even an external drive. Anywhere you've got stuff stored, you could actually have sample folders there. But the easiest way with Logic Pro is just to go to your Files app. And then because you can have things in windowed mode now, you can just grab an audio file, drag it across, and pop it straight into your Logic Pro project. And it's as easy as that. All right. Yeah, Ugreen makes good stuff. I've been happy with all my... Yeah, Ugreen is just... It's like Anchor. It's cheaper than Anchor. But in my experience, it's been as good as Anchor. The one that Jade has is the Satechi aluminium stand and hub for Mac Mini with SSD enclosure. Nice one. Alrighty. Cool. Where are we at? We were at number 2. We're at news and notes number 2. We got off on different tangents. Should we talk about Spotify for a minute? Oh, there it is. Thank you, Jade. Sorry to make you do the work, but you've already done the work showing the drum splitting hack. So go and check out Jade's video about that. I need some water here. I'm drinking my coffee. It's cold, and I think I need to switch to the water. A little ASMR water pouring for you. Spotify are still trying to be the number 1. And they've actually done something that I kind of wish others would do. And I'm always angry when Spotify do something that I actually think is cool. So if you can see the article through the RSPCA lottery ads here and the Virgin Australia ads about flying from Adelaide to Broome, yeah, here's the TLDR of this. So Spotify has officially launched playlist import support via Tune My Music, allowing mobile users to transfer large libraries directly from other streaming services. And premium users will see new features including Song DNA and About the Song, offering deeper insights into track creators and musical connections, which is ironic because what will track DNA, Song DNA and track connections do for an AI artist, I wonder? Intriguing. So yeah, the good news here is that there's services, because this has been the thing for the longest time. I have and had, and my daughter is in the same boat, have and had a lot of Spotify playlists. And the problem is Spotify kind of lock you in there because you don't want to lose all of your playlists. You don't want to lose your history. You don't want to lose your playlist. You don't want to use your algorithms, your recommendations. And YouTube Music and Apple Music and Amazon Music, for all the good things they do, like, YouTube Premium giving you ad-free YouTube, I would much rather use YouTube Music. But the actual YouTube Music app and integration into all your other stuff is pretty crap. It's good. It's got access to everything, and you can bring in weird, dodgy, old YouTube video versions of audio and play them through your audio player. There's lots of good things about YouTube Music, but its playlisting and its sharing and its social side and its recommendation engine are all far inferior to Spotify. So what I'm hoping this will do is put the wind up all of your other streaming platforms and make them do the same sort of thing. So I want to be able to bring in anything that I've got on my Spotify or my Apple Music or anywhere else and put it all in YouTube Music. And how about YouTube, instead of changing your icons and changing your tags and adding XP leaderboards, fix your music service? Because I still say the best value music streaming service on the internet is YouTube Music. It's actually YouTube Premium because you get ad-free YouTube and then you get YouTube Music, which has all the same and then some of Spotify, but Spotify just has that community social side of things locked down, and no other platform has the ability to compete with that, in my experience. We're talking about new iPhones and new iPads and new Macs coming. We've had this rumor before. I thought I'd just report on it quickly. Apple is planning to release new entry-level models across its iPhone, iPad, and Mac categories early next year with an all-new affordable MacBook, the most notable addition to the lineup. So, are we going to go back? Are we going to see the MacBook back? We haven't had the MacBook for a long time. And we've already got the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro, the more Pro MacBook Pro. I know, it's confusing. Do we need a generic vanilla MacBook again that's going to be the same as like the 17E? Because this is what this is talking about. Because we've got the iPhone 17. They're talking about the 17E. And we're also talking about a 12th generation, if you can believe it, 12th generation iPad, which would be like your vanilla iPad, which is actually really good. Vanilla iPad's very, very good for just GarageBanding. So if you're just a GarageBand, if you don't need to do high-end, like heavy lifting Logic Pro stuff or video editing stuff, just having a vanilla iPad is actually a really good deal. So I'm mixed about this. A, it's not confirmed. It's absolutely a rumor. And B, do we need to go back to, like, Steve Jobs was very keen on getting the Apple lineup down to a very simplified version. Yeah. He wanted to have like the iPad, the iPhone, the iPod. And then it was like, what about iPod mini, iPod shuffle? What about iPhone SE? What about iPhone Max? What about iPhone Pro? What about iPad Air? What about iPad Pro? What about, So we've changed now. And now I have to do entire shows on just Mac. Like, if you were buying a Mac right now, you can buy, hear me out, you can choose to buy a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro or a higher end MacBook Pro. You could get a Mac Mini, or you could get a Mac Studio, or you could get a Mac Pro. And all of those have different configurations with different amounts of cores on their CPUs and cores on their GPUs, different storage amounts, which you better pick right because ain't no upgrading, with different memory configurations, with different port configurations. Remember when the Mac Mini, you could get the 2 USB port and the 4 USB port version? So there are now so many variables that, hey, it keeps someone like me in a job, because your average consumer out there, they walk into an Apple store, it is completely bamboozling. It's not just buy a Mac. I would like the one MacBook, please. It's like, no. Here's the 12 different options that you have to choose from for your one MacBook. So there is that. You're right, they haven't updated the Mac Studio line in a while. I can say I still have the latest Mac Studio, don't I? Or do I? Did they up? Is there a Mac 4? Is there a Mac Studio M4? See, this is the thing. This is the stuff I should know, but I don't know this stuff. Oh, there's an Apple Store shopping event. What's this? What's this then? All right, the Apple Store shopping event. Get an Apple gift card. Oh, they're doing this again. The countdown has started up. So what do you get? You get Gift card up to $75 when you buy iPhone 16 or 16e. iPad. See, this could actually make this rumor a lot stronger, because if they're starting to do this, it usually means they're getting rid of these models. iPad Air, A16 or Mini, you get a $100 gift card. Mac, you get up to $250 when you buy a MacBook Pro M4 or M4 Max chip. MacBook Air, iMac or Mac Mini. Yeah, this is, we're running out our 2025 models of, Apple Watch Series 11 or SE3 and AirPods. AirPods 4, AirPods Pro 3. That's a good deal. The AirPods Pro 3 are the latest ones. I would get some of them if you don't have them, because AirPods Pro 3 are great. But don't buy anything now, because this doesn't start till what? You get a $50 gift card. That's pretty good. I mean, there's still a $249 pair of headphone, but if you're getting $50 back, that's pretty good. So from the 28th through to the 12th, which is in what? 3 days time. So yeah, do not buy. Do not buy. They did do an M4 Studio. Yeah, they must have done, because I've got the M2 Studio. But again, it goes to show, like, Tom, you and I, we follow this stuff closely, and you kind of forget, don't you? Oh, that's right. They did that weird one where it was the M4 Max and the M3 Ultra. So if you go to M4, you get the Max. If you go the Ultra, it's only the M3. It's all very, very confusing. It's designed to confuse, isn't it? Bought a 2014 Mac Mini 4GB under £50 on eBay. Great for Logic Pro and GarageBand if you don't use too many plugins at once. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, Fiona, is that the older gear now is going dirt cheap. I was in a Cash Converters the other day, and they had so many Intel Macs, and no one's buying them. Because when you can buy, the problem is that Cash Converters always put stuff at a high price. Never pay the ticket price at Cash Converters, folks. If you're going into one of these secondhand stores, what they do see is that they work out what the price should be, and then they basically halve it, then halve it again. So if you're trying to get something, so say you've got a $500, a MacBook Pro, the very last Intel one, and you reckon it should retail for about $500 because you paid $5,000 for it in 2019, just before M1. If you take that to Cashies, they will go, so $500 would be the best price, means that we have to have a bottom end margin of $250, which means we're going to pay you $125. So their maths is basically a quarter of the value. And that's so that they can stick a $500 price tag on it, knowing that they've got $250 of wiggle room down to what they will still make a 100% profit on. So they want to make a 200% profit, and they make sure that they can at least make a 100% profit. So keep that in mind when you're buying gear at Cashies or any secondhand store, and they're like, oh no, that's the lowest price we can go to. Bullshit. It is 100% not the lowest price they can go to. The M3 Ultra is more expensive than the M3 Max. Yeah, I know, it's so confusing. And that's the other thing. It's at the point now. The M5 Pro is slower than the M4 Max, which is slower than the M3 Ultra. We're in that world right now. It's so bizarre. Because the Max chips are basically two Pro chips glued together, even when it's a degree earlier, like a version earlier, it's still going to be much, much quicker. So, and again, it's why my M2 Max that I have in my machine, I'm still happy with, because it's still better than just like an M4 or even an M5. If it's a non-Pro model, it's still probably quicker than an M5 nothing, even though it's an M2 Max. It's ridiculous and hard to do. What do you think about waiting till Black Friday to buy? Because there's Black Friday deals now are not really the best deals, or they're good deals as long as... Yeah, look, do you wait? Do you do it now? They'll all do the FOMO thing. You already saw when we looked at some of those Black Friday week deals. They're like, deal almost gone. Don't miss out on this deal. The bottom line is that there'll be deals. If you've got a specific thing, this is where Camel. Go to Camel. What's Camel, Camel, Camel? It is a great website to check the prices on things. So if you're buying a thing, go to Camel, 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 work out what the floor price is. And if you see a deal that's at or close to the floor price, buy it. Simple as that. And with those Apple deals, obviously you have to factor in that it's going to be, say, $250. So let's use AirPods Pro 3. For instance, AirPods Pro 3. I'm pretty sure that these are going to tell me that they're not lower than $250 anywhere. Except now it's saying, no, actually $219. Okay. So it is. They're on sale. So Amazon have already dropped the price of these, probably predicting the whole Apple thing, or as soon as they saw the announcement that Apple are going to do that. So, yep, when they were released, they were $249. They dropped to $239 for a very small period way back in August, September, and they've been $249 ever since. They're now $219. So if we go to Amazon, we'll be redirected. There they are. So they're 12% off at $219.99 for the AirPods Pro 3. So now that you know that, Camel's confirmed they've never been lower than this price. But you now also know that Apple are doing their $50 cashback offer with their Apple gift card in 3 days' time. So you kind of just have to do that. So for Apple gear, do that. For most of your other gear, Amazon is kind of your bar mark. So if we go, let's go, what's something else you might be buying? Focusrite, Scarlett, 202, the classic, the original, and the best in some people's view. So here it is, the 4th gen Scarlett 202. There's the pricing, and there it is. So look, it's got way down to like 140 for a short period, but everything since like the last year, the floor price definitely seems to be around the 180 mark, and right now it's 189.99. So yeah, look, you wouldn't be waiting too longer for another deal. If you get it at 189.99, it's definitely lower than the 219.99 that it sits at most of the time, and it's about as close to the 179.99 that it's been once in the last year. Doesn't look like it's going lower than that. So to answer the question, a long-winded way of answering your question is I wouldn't wait for things, but I would just use the tools and the reference material at your disposal to work out where things are going, where they've been and where they're going to. How and why is faster? Look, go and watch all the Apple presentations. They'll tell you how and why it's faster. All the men in the white lab coats in the shiny schmick like fabs where they do all the things. They'll tell you why. Short version is more things, more stuff in there. They cram more things in the chip, more CPU cores, more GPU cores, and with the Max and the Ultra, they basically double and triple and quadruple up on them. So imagine that you've got one really fast chip and you smoosh another one on top of it. It's obviously going to run a lot quicker than the original version. I love long-winded answers. Well, you've come to the right place because we are like number 3 of our news and notes section, and we're an hour and 20 minutes into the show. I thought this one was pretty funny. We'll talk about this, that we have a retail chain accidentally sold iPad Airs for $17 and wants them back. So what is this story? So it turns out that some iPad Air models were offered for, it was actually €15, so the equivalent of $17, with online and in-store collection sales processed and the iPads handed out to their new owners. So this is pretty funny. This is an example of a retailer getting it wrong and consumers winning because they accidentally listed these iPad Airs for €15. A bunch of people bought them, and now apparently they've got like 30 days to either return them or pay the difference. They're giving them a small discount off of these. And it is weird because you might think, well, too bad. Isn't that just too bad, too sad? If you put the price out there and people buy it, well, no. Apparently, at least in Europe, the laws are that even if it's priced, if it is clearly an incorrect price, then the retailer has the right to attempt to recoup those costs. Now, attempt being the operative word here, because I don't know about you, but I would be saying I've got my iPad now. You can ask me for the money. You can try and get the money out of me, but you're going to have to come and sue me to get it back. I don't know. What would you do? Interesting. What would you do in that situation? Because let's be honest, you knew it was dodgy. Like, no one legitimately thinks that an iPad that should be 300 or 400 euro is actually going for 15. Like, it's clearly a mistake. But if you advantage from that mistake, if you're the advantager, that's not a word. If you benefit from the mistake, should you be able to keep it, or should you have to return it? Should the retailer have the right to recoup their cost, or should it be, well, their mistake? They should have been more careful. I don't know. I have two views on this. Look, if this was Amazon, if this was Apple, if this was Walmart, yeah, I get it. But this is just a smaller retailer, like an independent website retailer. So I don't know. I don't know where because imagine if I don't know the exact numbers because they haven't released them, but say there was 1,000 of these and this is going to impact their profit for this quarter. They don't have enough money to stay in business and like 20 people lose their jobs because a bunch of folks got $15 or 15 euro iPads. Is that okay then? It's one of those like moral questions, isn't it? It's like, what if it's a big business, big company, 1% billionaire, trillionaires, suck it up. It's a bit like when you accidentally put the wrong thing at the self-checkout and then you get home and you're like, oh no, I bought these cashews and I put them through as peanuts. And you're like, well, you know what? Here in Australia, Coles, owned by Wesfarmers, multi-billion-dollar company, their pockets are deep. I feel no remorse. But if it was Ma and Pa's shop down the road and now Ma and Pa can't afford to put $5 in the birthday card for grandson, now I feel bad, right? But again, real people work in these, even the big corporations have real people work in them. So you are impacting people somehow or another. I don't know. That's true. If you pay cash, they can't do anything unless you pay with a credit card. In which case they can try and do a chargeback thing, but then you can dispute that and it can become a whole thing. Didn't the cashier go, hey, well, that's the thing. You wouldn't think so. Especially the ones that went in and picked it up. It's probably one of those things where they went in, you bought it on the website, you paid for it, and then you clicked either delivery or collection. And the people that went to collect it, the people in the retail store probably had no idea that what they'd done on the website. But obviously someone clued into it eventually and went, hang on, we probably shouldn't be selling these for that small amount. I also blame AI. Well, you know what I blame? I blame the fact that, it was probably an automated system. It was probably someone that just punched in a number and it probably didn't have a check and balance in place. Look, when I worked for KFC delivery, back in my day, I worked for KFC delivery and I was the shift supervisor. So people would take orders. They're like, I want a bucket of chicken. I want 2 large fries. I want a potato and gravy. I want a coleslaw. And they put that through. If the person thought the order sounded like a hoax or that it might be a bit dodgy or it was a bunch of drunk or stoned dudes that weren't going to be able to pay, they would send it to me for verification. And I would check the order. I would check the history, the order history of the person that was ordering, and then go, okay, is this legitimate? Yes or no? And look, if it was a brand new account, new customer, $100 order, I would call them to verify. And I would suss it out and I would make sure that they were actually above board. I don't think that sort of thing happens anymore. The amount of these mistakes that just get pushed through with no consequence, I can't believe that there's any checks and balances in place in a lot of these businesses. And I think that the more we rely on quote unquote AI, which is just, again, automation, working around the human part of the process. And I don't think that like every decision that everyone makes should have a check in place, but there's got to be a human. It's a bit like the start of war games where they've got the 2 humans and they've got to turn the keys to actually launch the missiles, and one guy doesn't do it, the other guy wants to shoot him. Anyway, great movie, War Games. So they replace the 2 humans with the Whopper, the computer that uses its own intelligence. And the only way to win is to not play, which it works out in the end. But it's the same thing here, isn't it? It would have been some button that was pressed that just automated this process, and it went out at 15 euro instead of the, 300 euro that it was meant to. Yep. Shows the company not paying attention to their business. Need to be responsible for their actions. If you're out to lunch on your business, maybe you're not built to be, right? Exactly right. Exactly right. And look, a very small version of this is that one time I recorded a video. It was late at night. I put it out there, and it turned out that it was one of the most successful videos I'd put out. Like I got like a couple of thousand views overnight, which is big for my channel. Like I normally get a couple of hundred views in a day, and then some videos go viral adjacent, and they get out to lots of people, and some don't. So I put this video out. Woke up in the morning and I log into my YouTube and I'm like, I didn't put monetization on that video. Now, that was my oversight. I was the human. The system didn't say, hey, you normally click monetization. This is where AI, this is where automation should be helping me. It should say, hey, 99.4% of your videos in the past, you've added monetization. Before you make this public, would you like to add monetization? Be like, oh, yes, of course I would. Put the ads on. Show them the ads. But it didn't. And I suffered the consequence. Now, should my recourse be that, oh, because I made a mistake, YouTube should pay me back for that? No. So I think you're right. I think I'm on your side now. If it was AI, they're going to they're going to have to make their robots more intelligent. And that's it. If you're a business owner, you know this stuff, don't you? You know that the buck stops with you. There's a reason that that's a saying. The buck stops here, which means you've got to be responsible for the things that happen related to your business. We are going to come to an end. We've got the Frank Terzo Community Pulse show coming up in 15 minutes, so I will send you over there shortly. We haven't even got through the news and notes here, so we're going to continue on for just a couple of minutes more. I thought this was interesting. Apple have launched a couple of cool limited edition things. And I like this one because it's accessibility related. Look at this thing. I mean, at first glance, you're like, that is the ugliest one of those I've ever seen. It's the Hikawa phone grip and stand. It's only at Apple. They offered it to other people and they said they didn't want it. So they've begun selling this with accessibility in mind. So it's a phone holder and it's designed for people with low ability to grip things. In fact, they say it better. Where it is. It can be removed with ease and doubles as a stand with two different viewing angles, both vertical and horizontal directions. It snaps on with MagSafe, and it's designed for folks that need to be able to hold their phones and don't want them to slip out of their hands. But look at this thing. It's made out of like recycled material. And if you're not looking at the video version, it kind of looks like, how do you explain that? Like a marbled texture. It looks like the bathroom floor of a 1950s house. Just this horrible sort of marbly texture. And apparently you can get it in just a standard color, but I kind of want one of those. Granite. There you go. It looks like granite, doesn't it? All right. Good night, Dave. Yeah, good. We will be finishing up soon. Yeah, so I just thought that was interesting. And the other thing that they've launched recently, have you seen these? Have you seen these slings that folks are using for their iPhones? A limited edition sock style accessory, the iPhone Pocket, and it's like a over the shoulder sling. I see a lot of people, mostly ladies, with these phone slings now, where it's just a little bag that just has your phone in it, so it's like easy access. So instead of having it in your pocket or having to open a bag to pull it out, it's like these slings over your shoulder. And apparently Apple teamed up with Japanese fashion house Issey Mikaye, which I've definitely pronounced incorrectly, to make these stretchy pockets for your phone. And yeah, they look kind of ridiculous. Where's the image of someone actually wearing them? There they are. So yeah, so you sling it over your shoulder or you hang it over your arm and you've got instant access to your phone 24/7. I don't know. I just thought it was fun. And what do they cost? $149. And the long strap design, $229. So if you've got $230 burning a hole in your pocket, first of all, maybe donate to the channel, become a patron, buy some music, go onto Bandcamp and spend $230 on indie music rather than buy this thing because it looks very interesting. Yeah, it is. It's like an iPhone baby sling. Some people love their iPhone more than their kids. Truth. Very, very true. Is it true that Tim Cook is leaving next year? I heard it was a rumor. I think he's going to leave. It will be 2 years on Apple's anniversary, 20 year. Yeah, so we talked about it last week on the show. There is currently a rumor. There always is that, Tim Cook's going to finish up soon. And look, he will eventually. He's not a young dude. And I'm sure that they're doing succession planning right now. You're not a $3 trillion company without a decent succession plan. So I'm sure all the underlings are. I for one would like Craig Federighi. He's the funny. He wins as the funniest guy. So I want someone that's a bit funny. But yeah, it'll be someone in the Apple world that will take over. But we'll see how we go. What about a sling that goes over your eyes so you don't need to worry about prices? That would be more efficient, wouldn't it? My iPhone stays in my handbag. That's the thing, yeah. Now that you got your watch, I just saw a notification pop up on my watch. My phone tends to stay in my pocket when I'm out and about, or in my hand if I'm playing Pokemon Go. Don't judge me. But with an Apple Watch, you really don't need that direct access. But again, I don't know about you, Fiona, not judging here, but I'm of an older generation, and I look at what my daughters do, and they're basically walking around like if they could have they would like that holder because their phone is almost permanently glued to their hand. Yes, Craig is the man. He is Craig Federighi. He's a fun dude. I like him. So we are coming towards the end here, but again, I'll direct you over because we do have the community pulse with Frank Terzo coming up in. I thought it was okay. It's in 40 minutes. I thought it was earlier. They must have had a time change there. That's right. You've got it. You can have a break. Go have some dinner. Go have a shower. I don't know. Why did you have to make it creepy, Pete? Do whatever you would like there. But yeah, go check out the community pulse with Frank Terzo. I'm gonna set up a dump here to send you over to see Frank on the community pulse show. All right. Don't forget also that you've got Thomas Christ URock TV live. So I think this week, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're doing the hybrid concept that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, which is, so if you don't know, Thomas Christ used to do URock live, and then he experimented with URock TV where he pre-recorded the show and then would actually premiere it. And I think you're doing a hybrid version because I think I already saw the live. So leave us a link here, Thomas, if you got the live link for it already. But it's going to be URock TV, but live hosted. So all of the bits and pieces will be there and done and ready to just be played back. But Thomas will kind of be playing it, and that way he'll be able to put comments up on the screen and do things as we go. So that will be cool. That will be rad. And if you missed it, he tried it out with his show on the weekend, with his opening hour show, and it worked really well. There you go. There it is. This Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, if you're in my time zone here in Australia, the new and improved URock TV live, which will be a lot of fun to check that one out. Look, we've gone so long. Mark is back from supper. Hey, can you do me a solid before we finish up here? If you can hit the thumbs up button, that will tell all the little YouTube gremlins and robots in the system to go and push this show out to other people, to tell them that we had a good old time here, that we answered lots of questions, that we had lots of fun, and that I talked for way too long. Because I did. You can tell because the amount of water consumption keeps increasing. So I'm checking off for the rest of the week here, folks, but I will be back with the podcast, which is Thursday evening or Friday morning here in Australia. Then we've got the happy hour, of course, Saturday night or Sunday here in Australia, Your Music Live, and then GarageBand Weekly. And we've got a few other tutorials that I'm working on over the next couple of days that you'll see popping out. Hopefully I remember to put the monetization on this time. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for all your contributions, your questions, your help with the answers as well. It's always great to have Thomas and Jade and Mark, a lot of knowledgeable folks here. Ed Zielinski, lots of folks that know their stuff that can help us because I don't have all the answers. I'm happy to be the conduit, but I don't have answers to everything. All right, that's going to do it, folks. Please, this week, Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Keep creating. And I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.